wife wanted me to ask you if anybody's asked you if you look like Donny Osmond.
Let's see, it was 1969 in New Zealand. I think I was tracting in Palmerston North or somewhere, and someone at the door wondered if I was an Osmond. And of course, I haven't always, you know, I used to have a thinner face, but I have had, when I was in college, people come up with pen in hand, ready to get my autograph. And so I usually broke into song, and then those
Well, one more quick question for you. How is your family with you now? Is it kind of healed or not?
It's healed. It's healed in a way. They really are a good bunch. They just have a worldview. Can I just tell one little story here? And this doesn't seem related. I went to help my dad break a horse about 7 years ago. And she was a pretty little mare. She had a very badly cut front leg, and it had healed, and now he was ready to ride her. And we saddled her up, and I jumped on and was quickly thrown off, and one of the first times in my life I landed on my feet getting bucked off. But I got back on and finally rode her around a small corral, and took her into a bigger field and rode her around, and then tried to take her into another field through an open gate, and she wouldn't go. I encouraged her as best I could, and she didn't want to go. I asked Dad for a whip, and it just made her crazy. So I thought, well, I could force the issue, but I didn't feel like doing that, and so I contented myself with a smaller pasture, then we unsaddled her. 3 days later, Dad informed me that the vet had said she was blind. Suddenly I realized I put the cut front foot together with this gate and put a little barbed wire there in the way in my mind, and I realized that this mare, who couldn't see barbed wire, had probably been through this gate before and been hurt severely. And it wasn't that she was being unreasonable or that she was being unreasonably stubborn. Her experience and the fact that she was unable to see certain things didn't stop her from being terribly afraid of taking a certain path. I hope so. Flogging the blind is never a good idea. And whether or not I apply that to others or they apply that lesson to me, I hope it works both ways. However we look at it, whether I'm considered the blind one or they, so I have a complete understanding for the fear in some of my family, but we still, you know, I can still talk to them civilly. I just don't bring up politics because I don't want to drive them away from my way of thinking, and I don't bring up religion.
Do your siblings or family know that you've written a book, and do you know if any of them have read it?
You know, I think a couple of them started it, but I think it was just too disconcerting to them, and so I don't think any of them read it. I've had a couple of in-laws that read it, and the reaction was very good. They're still in the church, but the reaction was actually wonderful. At least they felt like they understood me a little bit and why I'd gone where I